Let's get it. I'm excited. The energy's high. Let's just jump right into it. Let me figure out how to share my screen. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Now, this is how to invite, meaning that you're not pitching this opportunity to anybody. You're not trying to convince anybody of, what it is that you do, explain the foreign exchange market, nothing. Your sole job right now is to solely invite, right? You are literally just the messenger. You're not the message, but the messenger, right? Let's do a little quick check-in. Drop a 1 in the chat if you don't understand quite yet how taxes work in this space. Drop a 1 in the chat if you don't understand how many pips we average a week. And it's okay to drop the ones, family. Do it transparently. It's okay, right? Drop a 1 in the chat if you don't even understand everything that the elite package includes. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've never made 6 figures from investing, right? Right? And it's okay. You see the ones flooding like crazy. And I want to tell you guys something, that it's okay. It's okay to be dropping the ones. But that's why you need to be the person inviting, right? That's why you need to be the person just saying that I don't have all the answers. I see that this works. I'm getting results, but I'm going to put you in front of someone that has way more answers than I could, that's way more qualified than I am, right? Because when you first get started in this space, you're constantly leveraging until you get to the point where you can leverage, right? See, I didn't come in unranked, pitching to people and explaining what the opportunity was. On my first day, I made $50 from my cell phone. So I saw that it worked, right? And I decided to leverage. See, back in the day, we had this cheesy pre-recorded video. It was like 10 minutes, right? And after I made that $50 from my cell phone, I just started to massively invite my entire contact list. Like I went through my whole entire phone. So a lot of people saw P150 in 24 hours, right? From the outside. But a lot of people didn't see the 100 no's I had to go through to get those 3 yeses, right? So if you drop the 1 in the chat, you're on the right call, because you don't need to figure out the answers just quite yet. You just need to figure out, how can I put my people in front of the best people, right? And the invite is going to alleviate all of that pressure for you, right? So without further ado, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Alicia All, Chairman 25 and Millionaire Millennials, the co-founder, as well as Raquel Mejia, who we'll be hearing from shortly, throughout the day, hosting some trainings. But let's get right into it, right? Let's get it right into the sauce of how can I just get out of the way and put somebody else in the spotlight. So quick little overview of what we're going to cover. Let me focus up on my screen. I feel like I can't see everything. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to talk about how to invite on social media. That's a great tool to use. Then I'm going to go into what the professionals do, which is the perfect invite, picking up the phone, right? If you were on Wanda's call last night, you already know. Drop some 2s in the chat if you were on Wanda's training last night, because I watched it for the 2nd time and it still moved me, man. Shout out to Wanda, right? She already told you what it takes, right? She already told you what was icing. She already told you what actually gets you paid, right? And this right here is an IPA, income producing activity. So the sooner you just move out of your own way and figure it out and get into that flow state, the sooner you can start to get paid and impact lives. But I'm gonna go over the difference between your warm market versus your cold market, right? People who are close to you versus people you might not be that close with. And then I'm gonna end it out with the 15-second invite. So if you've ever been on this training before, there are gonna be some gems that are dropped that we don't usually cover, right? If you've been in one of the launch pads, you might have heard it before, but hear it again, right? So let's get right into it. First things first, leveraging our social media. Now, family, there is a tour going on right now. Right? Well, not right now, but it's about to start on Wednesday, right? Raquel Mejia and myself will be traveling to multiple cities, collabing with multiple leaders, right, within MM or our mentors, literally explaining to your friends, family members, strangers, what it is that we do here. So drop a 3 in the chat if you've already posted that tour flyer on your social media account, right? We're going to be everywhere, right? So you want to be inviting. This is a skill set that's going to help you invite to that opportunity, right? Now, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. You guys might love me and Raquel to death. You guys might look up to Joshua Stewart, Bryce Thompson, all the greats in this space, right? But probably to like 95% of the population that's following you on social media, they have no clue who we are. Not at all. They don't even know what a Chairman 750 really means or entails, right? So I want you guys to understand that as you're posting and leveraging social media, trying to show people things, right, that can want to express some interest in this space, they might not understand what it is that you're talking about. They might not even be the first person to inquire, right? They might not hit you up. They might be waiting for the invite. So a creative way that you can leverage social media to start to invite people without directly just DMing them, right, is that you can start to leverage polls or Q&As or swipe ups if you have a certain amount of followers. Now, here's an example right here in the little computer screen on the PowerPoint slide, right? Here's an example of you taking the time, going to find an aesthetically pleasing photo, whether it's, you know, a picture of a nice house, whether it's a nice quote, just something that would capture your eye, right? If you're into shoes, post a picture of some fire shoes, right? Some ones or something crazy like that. If you're into cars, you know, post a picture of a muscle car, just something that your following is going to be attracted to looking, right? And you could just ask a simple question. Would you be interested in learning how to make money from your cell phone? Would you be interested in learning how to invest? Would you be interested in acquiring a new skill set, right? There's so many questions you can ask and literally just put the yes or no poll on your Instagram account, right? Now I'm gonna give you guys 2 gems around this. The first one, because I didn't really quite do this post right? So don't duplicate this to a T. The first gem is that when you ask the poll on social media, you want to make sure one thing, right? You want to make sure that you're not really putting a yes or a no, right? So you don't want the negative connotation out there on your social media page. So instead of you saying yes or no to that question, you could say something like, yes, I'm ready now, or no, maybe later, right? Or no, maybe next week, right? Something that's not a hard no, just something that's like, nah, I'm not ready right now type vibes, right? So that way, if someone looks at the results of your poll and they see 90% of the people are saying no, they won't feel weird for being a part of the 10% that said yes, right? The second gem around the placement on the poll is that you want to think about it. When you're scrolling through someone's Instagram story, right? You're primarily hovering over the bottom right corner of the screen, tapping through people's stories. I know I do it all the time, right? I'm guilty. So if you know naturally people are going to be in the bottom right corner tapping through stories, you don't want to put your poll right there, right? Because people are going to accidentally tap yes or no, right? So you want to make sure that you're placing the poll in a space where people can actually look at the post and select it organically. There's been times where I had to message people and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to answer no on your poll. I was tapping through too fast and hit it on accident, right? So make sure that you're keeping the yes on the left side, the no on the right, and you're placing the poll in a space where it's not going to accidentally get tapped. Now, right? Now, after people respond, now after people say yes or no, here's where you get to go and do your homework, right? Because you're kind of inviting without you directly targeting anybody. For the people that respond yes to that question, or for the people that have piqued interest, for the people that want more information, right, on that poll, you can reach out to them and say, you know, okay, if you posted the tour flyer and you're like, are you interested in learning from 6 to 7 figure earners? Or are you interested in learning another skill set? For the people that respond yes, you can reach out to them and shoot them the details. You can introduce yourself. You can send them the RSVP link, right? Get to know their name, get their number. The more information you can get about a person, the easier it's going to be for you to keep in contact with them. Some people don't even keep their Instagram DMs on, right? So you can use that with the tour dates. You can use that with the daily information that we have at 8. And if someone isn't free for either of those scenarios, guess what? We got a pre-recorded version of it on YouTube. So you guys have more than enough sauce to go around. And you might even be lucky enough to have an upline that's good at pitching and can close them out on a 3-way, right? So if we're following me so far, let's get some 777s in the chat if I'm not losing anyone. Because this is all, what we do here is all relatively simple. It's just up to you, right, to go and run the play, right? What we do here is all relatively simple. Now, I only have an Instagram. Yes, there's other social media platforms. If you want to start to leverage your Facebook, I know a lot of people that have been getting traction on Facebook. I even seen someone launch on LinkedIn. Every time I randomly go back to Snapchat and post something, someone always inquires. So you want to make sure that you're diving into all your social media platforms and figuring out, how can I start to get my engagement up? How can I start to get my interactions up with the people that are watching me? Because I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. Everyone's watching, right? They might not respond to everything. They might not say something every time. But there's people who are literally enrolling with me today saying that they remember when I made my first $50, right? When I was only making $10 a day, right? So they're watching for sure. But let's get into the nitty gritty of why we're really here, right? Because the amateurs just kind of hide behind social media and let people come to them. I'm gonna keep it real, right? The people who are super intentional about, exposing as many people to this opportunity, they actually directly go and invite, right? They actually go and directly invite. Now, these steps that I'm giving you, I want you guys to pay attention very, very carefully, right? Because after you get off this call, I want you to just go do two things. I want you to first go to the mirror and just practice it, right? After I go through this kind of some scenarios of how you can navigate through the conversation, I want you to just go to the mirror and practice it, right? Now, after you practice it a few times and you just feel a little bit comfortable and organic with saying it, I want you to just go immediately call someone in your contact list. I don't want you to think twice about it. I don't want you to overthink it. The first person you call might say no. You might mess up, but I want you guys to understand this. Until you get started, until you fail, until you realize that it's not that bad, you're gonna scare yourself and keep yourself stuck, right? You're literally gonna scare yourself and overthink it and keep yourself stuck. So just go run the play, family. I promise you in my 2 years of doing this, no one has ever cursed me out. No one's ever blocked me. No one's ever did anything, any weird scenario that you could come up with in your head. Like Wanda said yesterday, yeah, there might have been a little bit of shade. Some people might have talked about me, right? But do you think when I bought my parents a house off the markets, do you think that making $25K a month, I really care about anyone that threw shade at me when I was P150? No, I don't care at all. They all type congrats, right? So let's get into it. The first step is that you want to be in a hurry, right? Now, this whole conversation, you want to keep this as short as possible, right? Wanda West said 15 seconds. I believe that's very, very fast, but you definitely want to keep it like short as possible, 100% less than like 5 minutes, right? On the call. That's like really lengthy, right? So the first step is that you want to be in a hurry. Now, why is this important? Because if you're just inviting someone to an opportunity, you don't want them to start to ask you questions like, well, what is it? How does it work? How much does it cost? Is it hard, right? You don't want them to ask you questions. You basically want to say, the only reason why I'm here right now is to invite you to something. I have something else to do, right? So when you get on the phone, right, the quote is right underneath of it of what you can say. Hey, I'm so glad I was able to catch you. I'm currently on my way to underscore, right? Now, insert something that sounds realistic. If you don't have a job, don't say I'm on my way to work, right? If you don't go to school, don't say I'm on my way to class, right? You got to insert where you're on your way to, right? A meeting. You could be on your way to the mall, the grocery store, church, whatever, right? But it's important that I talk to you. So now they know, okay, Alicia doesn't have a lot of time. What does she want, right? I'm getting straight into it. I'm not asking how are you, how are your kids, none of that, right? I'm straight to the point, right? Now you want to make sure that you're talking with a level of confidence and excitement. Because if you run through all this whispering and just kind of sounding monotone and fumbling over your words, they're going to have that same energy, right? People are going to radiate your energy. So the way I'm on this training right now, talking with confidence and talking with a level of energy, you guys are just naturally, somebody behind the mic is getting excited by how I'm talking, right? So the next thing that you transition to, right, is the second step is that you want to compliment the person, right? See, when you start to talk about making a lot of money from your cell phone and investing and, making $1 million a month, a lot of people are already going to discredit themselves. Why? Because that's not normal. The median income in the United States is like $30,000. So when you start talking to someone about how they can start making $30K in a month, they're going to feel uncomfortable. They're going to start to feel like they can't accomplish that, right? So you've always been successful in underscore, right? Now, like I said, it's not a one size fits all. There's a little bit of a script, but there's a little bit of you being able to dance to it. If you're on the phone with someone that has 0% leadership skills, right? You probably wouldn't even trust them to manage one person, right? You're not going to get on the phone and say, you've always been somebody who's displayed successful leadership skills. Because they're going to be like, what are you talking about? I'm not a leader at all, right? You want to give compliments that are respective to who the individual is, right? That are genuine, that are authentic, right? So you've always been successful in supporting me in every single thing that I do. So why not support this, right? You've always been successful in, achieving anything you set your mind to. You've always been successful in something, school, work, whatever, relationships, right? And I've always respected you for that. So now you're kind of putting it on an even playing field as I have this thing in my pocket and I'm immediately thinking about you as someone who would see success in it because you've done it in other spaces that I've known you for in the past, right? Now we're on step 3. This is very, very quick. I'm gonna run through it at the end and put it all together for you, right? Now's the time where you need to go and make the invitation, right? Now you can go on into inviting. Now that they understand that they're qualified and this is the reasons why you're thinking of them, here's the invitation. In my current business, when thinking of others who could find real success, you definitely come to mind. So I'm immediately thinking about you as someone that I could see going far in this space. If I, would you, right? So if I send you the link to my investment group's webinar at 8 p.m., would you be able to make it? If I invite you out to the in-person event that we have on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., would you be able to make it? If I send you this pre-recorded video, do you have 30 minutes to watch it, right? If I do something, do you have something, right? Can you do something? Now screenshot this because we're on the tail end. Like we're out of here now, right? We're out of here now. We're on the home end. Now the ball's in their court. So they're either going to say one or two things. No, I'm not free at 8. Okay, great. Guess what? Put your solution specialist hat on, right? Put your solution specialist hat on. You're not free at 8. Okay, cool. I got a pre-recorded video. My mentor told me that he's free until 6 p.m. today to close out anyone that needs to hear this information, right? You got to start to dig into your bag of goodies and figure out what tools you got, right? Now, I'm going to combine step 5 and 6 into one because for me personally, I'm getting the time commitment when I say, if I would you, right? If I send you the link, would you be able to get on the call at 8? I'm already kind of getting that time commitment. So these last 2 steps, 5 and 6, kind of get compressed into that, right? Get the time commitment, confirm the time commitment, right? So if they say yes, you'll be like, okay, great. See you on the call at 8. You want to get off the phone. That's it. After the if I would you, you're out of there, right? They might be like, what is it? How does it work? Does it cost anything? You don't answer any questions. You want to say like, look, I would be doing you a disservice if I answered anything. Just get on the call, man. Like it's going to explain everything that you need to know. I promise, right? And you're out of there. Great. We'll be in touch tonight. That's the invitation for your follow-up. The way you get off the phone, that's your invitation to circle back to them once the call is over, answer any questions, get them on the call with your mentor, right? Whatever you need to do to follow up and close them out, right? So let me check in. I know I'm moving kind of fast. 8's in the chat if you feel like you're ready to go P150, right? For my new folks out there. 8's in the chat if you feel like, okay, I can do this P150 thing. I see why it's so simple. I'm gonna go P150 again off this. I sent it to somebody privately. Listen, now don't lie to me, right? Because regardless of what you get off this call and do, look, don't lie to yourself, right? Don't lie to yourself. All right, cool. I'm gonna give y'all an example and tie it all in. Because it's gonna be some different scenarios that you gotta maneuver through, right? It's gonna be some different scenarios that you have to maneuver through, right? So you're gonna have your warm market. Let's say you're somebody on this call that you're like, I kind of, have some people that I haven't reached out to yet. I've had some people that I've skipped over because I'm scared to tell them about this opportunity. I have some people to circle back to. You could say, I know you're busy, right? But I've always respected how ambitious you were. I've recently started something and I want to work with sharp people. So that means that I'm only trying to work with the best of the best. This is an exclusive opportunity. It's just not open to anyone, right? Or, right, I like the indirect approach. This is great for those friends that you probably think they're already going to say no, right? Drop a 9 in the chat if you got that friend that you just know is going to be anti-forex. I'm gonna drop the 9 because I had them, right? I had some friends that I knew weren't going to do it. This one literally blows their mind every time. Do you know anyone who is ambitious, money motivated, and would be excited about the idea of adding more cash flow to their lives? Listen, you don't even have to put the Forex term in there, but as soon as you say, do you know anyone who's ambitious, motivated, and would be excited about adding more cash flow to their lives? They're going to be sitting there thinking, me. I'm motivated. I would love to work from home. I would love to be my own boss. Me. I'm the person that you're looking for, right? So that's an indirect way of you inviting your friend to this opportunity without you even trying to really make it seem like you're who they're looking for. Because 2 things are either going to happen. They're either going to start to recommend a list of people to you that are ambitious, money motivated, and be excited about the idea. And now you have a whole new network that you can tap into, right? And invite through. Or they're going to say, me, I'm one of them. Pick me, right? And then you can get them on the call, right? Now this last step number 3, This is for my folks on the call who have been leveraging a little bit too long, right? You've been in this space for a little minute. You understand how you know the ins and outs of this. You're just scared to throw yourself out there and pitch, right? Well, on your worm market, you can say, I've started a new business and I'm really nervous, right? Or I have this presentation coming up on Wednesday with some of my mentors and I have to speak in front of a lot of people and I'm nervous. So before I get started, I want to practice on someone that can give me some feedback. Do you have a couple seconds, right, to listen to the information? Now, this is so important, right? Because this puts you in a win-win situation. Now you get to practice on a friend, explaining this opportunity to them, right? Now I want to reiterate, this is for the folks that have been in for a little while, right? You're confident in what you're talking about. Now you get to pitch to them. They're going to give you feedback. They're either going to like what you said, or they're going to say, look, bro, I would not do business with you the way that you're talking right now, right? And if they say that, it's okay, because now you get the feedback of what you need to do better the next time, and you don't lose a prospect, because guess what? You can now say, okay, great. I know I sucked at it, but let me show you who I was trying to duplicate. Let me show you who I really wanted to present this information like. Can you get on the webinar today at 8 so you can see how my millionaire mentors do it, right? And then they get to hear it again from me and Raquel, or they get to come to an in-person event and hear it from Stu. So now they get a second time to hear it and they're probably going to sign up. Someone said in the chat, I use this and it works. Family, I don't pull this out of thin air. I wish I made this stuff up. It's just the sauce that gets passed down from one person to another, right? So it works. The only thing that's going to stop you from going applying this is fear, right? Fear about what people have to say about you, fear about what's going to happen, fear about losing friends, family. None of that stuff matters. I'm here to tell you everything's going to be okay. Now let's move into cold market really quick, because I don't want to make this call super, super long, but I want to make sure we got the gems, right? Now, cold market, that's for like the people where, let's say you're in the car with the Uber driver, or you're, maybe you see a waitress that you want to pitch to. Shout out to KJ and Wright. We took KJ out for his birthday, right? While we're ordering lunch, they start to pitch to our waiter, right? He ends up getting on the informational and enrolling into the business. Just someone who served us, right? Everyone's looking for new opportunities. You're the only one scared to tell someone about it. They're looking for this. You got to tell them, right? So if you're in another area, let's say you're out traveling, out in Houston or wherever, right? My company is expanding in your area. Who would love to have some mentees in Hawaii? I would love to have a team in Hawaii so I can put it on the tour stop, right? So my company is expanding in your area. Would you do me a favor and take a look at it and let me know if you think it would be a good fit for where you live? I think making money from your cell phone is a good fit no matter where you live at, right? It's just saying it with confidence and excitement. Sure, I'll look at it. What's the worst that happens? That stranger that you're never going to see again, never looks at it, never joins your business. They weren't going to be in it anyways if you didn't open your mouth, right? Let's say you're getting good service at a restaurant, right? Thank you for the outstanding service you provided. Do you plan on doing what you're doing for the rest of your career? Now, family, you have to watch how you word this because not everyone's going to be receptive to the way that you say that, right? They might think that you're trying to be condescending. They might think that you're trying to, belittle what it is that they're doing as a career field, right? So you want to make sure that you're asking this in kind of like a caring way after you've maybe already established a relationship with that person. 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no, right? You meet a waitress, a waiter, a bartender, just anyone who's kind of like possibly Uber driver. Most people are doing things to fund their passions, to get to where they want to go. They're going to be like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to go and be a musician, right? Now you can pitch them an opportunity that'll allow them to make more money and give them a little bit more time freedom to go do what they love to do, right? Now the third one, this is what I do in every single Uber. I literally talk to strangers like all day long. I'm always looking for ways to spark conversations, right? So naturally, when I get in an Uber, I ask people like, yo, how's your day going? Or they'll ask me how my day is going, right? And I'll be like, what do you do outside of this? Or do you do this full time? Or how long have you been doing Uber today? Guys, if it takes you 8 hours to do a million trips to make $100, I can show you a way more effective way to do that from your cell phone, family. You're already an entrepreneur. You're just in the wrong space, right? If I ask them, what do they do? 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask me the same question. What do you do, right? Now you got to start to drop answers. You're no longer a student. You're no longer an engineer. You're no longer a stay-at-home mom. When someone asks you, what do you do? You're an investor. right? You own your own business. I don't care if you're unranked or P150. You got to have that level of confidence, right? And they're going to start to ask more questions and you can put them on the informational. So it's just simple. You just got to get your people skills up, right? You just got to start to look for ways of how can I get someone to even invite themselves to me? A lot of the people that have enrolled with me, they invited themselves to me. I was just putting myself in positions that made it interesting where they wanted to just figure out, who am I? What am I doing? Why are you always going to the airport? Why are you doing this, that, and the third? All right, cool. So let's knock it out the park real quick with the 15-second invite. Now, this is a gym that Raquel found. It's a big gym, not gonna lie. What I showed you guys was from Eric Worre, GoPro. If you haven't read the book, someone drop it in the chat for everybody. But this is literally the most smoothest 15-second invite I've seen in my life, right? So step one, I'm gonna run through it all and then I'm gonna go back through the steps, right? So I'm gonna pretend like I'm on the phone. Somebody wanna dial in? Anybody wanna dial in real quick? See if we can get personal. Who wants to dial in? Who wants to be the person that I'm inviting? Nobody, y'all crickets in the chat. Court said, I do. All right, Court, let's plug in. And don't troll either. You know, Court's a funny one. Let me see if I can take you on mute. Let me see if I can take you on mute. Guys, I'm gonna, but be realistic, you know, like, let me see. 2 seconds, guys. Let's see. All right, Court, you should be good now.
Yo.
All right, cool. So let me go back one slide. All right, get rid of this. Let's get into it. Okay, cool. So I'm ringing in Court. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Court? The reason why I'm calling is because I just came across something very exciting and I immediately thought about you because you've always been a hard worker, somebody that's ambitious, and you've been excelled in like every single area that I've ever known you in, college, high school, all of that, right? And I think this is something that you definitely want to check out. I have no idea if you're going to be as excited as I am, but how soon could you cut out maybe 30 minutes to see what it is that I'm doing?
What is it about?
I don't really got a lot of time to answer questions right now, but whenever you just have like 30 minutes of just free time, I'm gonna break down everything in one setting. I don't have a lot of time right now to go into the details.
Okay, we could do it tonight.
Okay, are you free at 8 by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna send you this link because I'm rushing into this meeting right now, but I'll see you on the call at 8 and then I'll follow up. Somebody.
I don't think they heard the last part. Somebody came off mute.
Yeah, mute everybody. Dang, man. Let me see. All right, cool. We back. The last part was just the follow-up, right? It was like, okay, I'm going to send you the link. I got to get off the phone and go, right? I'll hit you up afterwards, right? I'll be in touch after 9. Family. That took like 2 seconds of my life. Now, granted, the person on the phone, they might have more questions, right? But you just don't answer them. Literally, I don't care if you ask how much it costs. Is it easy? Can I sign up right now? You're just in and out of there with the excitement, right? So before you call the person, you already want to have it pre-planned. What compliment am I giving them? You don't want to be on the phone like, yeah, because you've always been, you know, great. You want to be in and out of there. So cool. I'm going to give you guys one last gem. I don't have a slide for it. If somebody has like the copy of that DM that like you guys can just massively DM people, can somebody drop that in the chat real quick? Because there's a million ways to invite, family. Go through your contact list. Make a clear list of anyone with a pulse, right? Don't make decisions for anybody. A lot of the times when we go to start inviting people to this opportunity, when I first got started, right? When I first got started, I kind of started to make decisions for people. Oh, this person wouldn't do it. They just had a kid. This person's not going to do it because they're in school. This person already has a business. Family, you never know what's in somebody's heart. Y'all want to copy those messages that people are dropping. Those are DMs that people send out that literally get responses, right? You want to copy those messages, right? But I used to say no for people. And what would happen is I would sit down and I would start with trying to get a list of 200 people. And by the time I said no for everyone, I only had 5 people that I thought would actually say yes. And what I realized is that the people who said yes to the opportunity, 9 times out of the 10 were the people who I thought would say no, would express no interest. The people who said no to the opportunity, sometimes it was the people that I thought just 100% that they would sign up. So you never know what's in someone's heart, right? If somebody would have said to me, I'm not going to tell Alicia about this opportunity because she's about to graduate and go be an engineer at Microsoft. I know she's already set in her career field. Family, a lot of us wouldn't be on this call right now, right? So drop the pride, drop the ego, drop the fear. I promise you it's all going to work out for you if you just go run the play. So I'm going to take some questions, guys. I hope you guys got some value. It's very, 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 very simple. You just got to go and do it with confidence and enthusiasm. You're going to get some no's, but you're going to get a lot of yeses. So someone said, what about the people you have pitched to and supposed to get back to you? Boom. I'm so glad you asked that question before everyone leaves. So the amazing thing about us having an in-person event is that there's some people who have gotten on the informational before, or that I've invited out to the informational before, and they didn't say yes, right? Or they didn't say no, they might've ghosted me. So I actually went back to my contact list, right? At the last DC event we had, when Raquel and I were like P5000s, and I think Stu was like a chairman 100, right? Back in like December or something like that. I don't know, earlier in the year. I literally went through my contact list and re-invited people. I was like, I know you heard it from me and it might not have made the most sense, but I have my millionaire mentor coming in to explain the opportunity, and I feel like he might resonate with you a little bit better. Are you free Wednesday night at 6:30 to come to the event? And Raquel and I actually had about 5 people show up each, right? And I think we both got about 2 to 3 signups from that event, from inviting somebody out. So don't feel like you're annoying someone. Some people need to see the in-person vibes to really get this thing going. So that's why we're, hitting the field. Somebody said, what is the perfect close on the call with you and the prospect after the info call? I think we're dropping those gems on another training, I think. Rack is going to be going over how to pitch, so I'm pretty sure within the pitch there will be some gems on how to close. But I want you guys to read this quote while y'all come up with questions. If you don't have any questions, you're free to go. I'm going to see y'all in the next training. Make sure you're plugged in, 200 plus on everything. What's the next training? How to handle objections. Super important. Super important. Super duper duper important, right? But this business model itself has tried and proven successfully worldwide for more than 50 years. Talking about network marketing. It works for anyone who is willing to invest the necessary sweat equity required by any business. Brian Tracy, get it rich your own way. Family, this stuff works if you do, right? Like Wanda Webb said, people are only going to think it's a scam if you have scam work ethic. No one's going to tell me this is a scam because I work hard every day to prove that it's not. So I appreciate you guys. If you have some questions, drop them in the chat. We'll see y'all in the next training. Let's go run up a bag. Someone said, how can I get on the Telegram chats that I mentioned? I don't think I covered any Telegram chats, but if you're not in any of the chats that you need to be in, just reach out to the person who enrolled you. It all should be in a welcome letter, and you guys all should be in an intimate chat with less than 300 people in it. So yeah, just make sure you're in all the chats. All right, gang, don't see any questions in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Yeah, you should definitely practice in the mirror. Yeah, practice in the mirror a few times. But just understand that once you get that first yes, it's gonna create a spark in you. Once you get that first yes, you're gonna be like, okay, I don't care about all the no's. Would the last thing you went over be a good way to bring the business back up to someone you already have? Yeah, if you already have expressed this opportunity to somebody, re-bring it back up, through the in-person event, because it's a new face, right? They heard it from me and Raquel. This time, Stu is going to be the one in the trenches with us, running through it with either Raquel or myself. So it'll just be a new face with way more results. So if you could say no to us, I don't know how, if you say no to Stu at this point, I don't know what else to put you in front of. But yeah, all right, guys, I'm gonna end this call out. If y'all got some value, let me stop this recording. I'm bugging. You guys got some value, definitely go back in the chat and let everybody know. I don't know how to end the recording.